no, I think it will just be a good wicket. There's no grass on it, so there won't be much.
At 57 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 13 degrees Celsius for most of our fans who follow the metric system of units. It is pretty cold here in Tampa, by Florida standards I must say. But what is really warming up is the India versus Australia series down under. India won the third T20 International and levelled the T20 Series 1-all after rain played a spoilsport to wash out the much hyped, the much spoken about second T20 at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Hi everybody and welcome to this new Facebook Live episode of the International Cricket Network ICN 360. Here's your host, analyst and commentator Yash Khandor, reporting live here from Tampa, Florida. It's been a phenomenal T20 series, one game washed out, one close game, advantage Australia because of the rain, but then again India coming back strong to level the series. It was that man again who had yet another chase for dinner. King Kohli announced himself for the summer, which is certainly something that he would love to headline. Shikhar and Rohit trampled the bowlers with a 67-run stand of just 5.3 overs, and then Kohli finished them with an unbeaten 61. There was a brief scare for India as they lost KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant of back-to-back deliveries. But then the captain Kohli and the finisher Karthik drove India home. Mitchell Starc and Adam Zampa were the two special guests, or I must say were the two special hosts, as they delayed the inevitable and brought the scoreline to as close as it looks right now. If it was not for them, the game was well and truly in India's control for most part. Well begun is half done, is what the experts say, and more emphasis cannot be placed on this if we reflect upon the brilliance that was on display courtesy Shikhar Dhawan at the top of the order. It was Dhawan's boisterous batsmanship that forced Mitchell Starc to bowl his third over inside the first 6 overs and hence leaving him only 1 over towards the flag end of the innings. That's when it actually matters, isn't it? The win, however, was set up by two other gentlemen in the Indian bowling lineup. Not sure how often in my commentating career would I be privileged to say this, but yes, two left-arm spinners turned the game India's way after the Australian opener set up the launch pad with a 64-run stand in just 8 overs. But then it was the nemesis in the form of left-arm wrist spin of Kuldeep Yadav that came to the fore. Kuldeep got Finch out to break the opening stand and then just conceded only 19 runs in his next 4 overs. While Australia's batting against Kuldeep was all about existence and survival because of course they could not pick him either off the hand or off the pitch, it was Krunal Pandya at the other end who reaped rewards of the pressure that was induced by Kuldeep. In the end, Krunal finished with the best figures ever by a spinner in T20s in Australia. Surely, his was not the best performance in the game, and I must say by distance. But of course, Krunal, as we all know, was adjudged the man of the match for his 4 wickets. We won't really go deep into this talk about man of the match awards, how are they decided, the logic that goes behind it. But let me just say, Krunal did well on the day to bowl very ordinary deliveries but to get wickets. And of course, Kohli, I think, has too many awards to fit in his trophy cabinet. One important thing that came out of this game, however, was the importance of having a 6th bowler in the side. When Marcus Stoinis went for a staggering 22 runs in his first over, Finch actually had an option to fall back upon his 6th bowling option, which was Glenn Maxwell. And as a matter of fact, Glenn Maxwell completed his quota of 4 overs. Something that India misses big time, whether it's T20s or one-day internationals, as none of the top 6 batsmen in the Indian batting lineup can actually bowl. With the World Cup of 2019 approaching and it being hosted on small grounds in England, the sooner Indians figure out their 6th bowling option, the better it will be for their chances to win the tournament. Two gentlemen that I specifically want to talk about, KL Rahul. Boy, what to say about this guy. Too much talent, lot of expectations, lot of promise. But in the end, no implementation, no application, no runs coming to the fore. Seems like a deja vu moment when we had Rohit early in his career with all the talent to talk about but no performances. Should we invest as much time in KL Rahul that we invested in Rohit Sharma? Well, that's a discussion for some other day. I feel KL Rahul needs to, for a better choice of word, I say needs to get his stuff together. In a game where your openers give you a start of 67 runs in just 5.3 overs, All you need to do is play your basics, bat through the innings and bring your team home. A leaf from Virat's book that Rahul needs to take at the earliest. Second gentleman is Rishabh Pant. He needs to buckle up as well. If you look at his dismissals in the last 4 limited over games that he's played, ordinary and reckless are the two words that come to one's mind. Batting at number 5 or 6, which according to me is one of the most important batting positions, especially in limited overs cricket. Pant cannot just walk out into the middle to bat with a pre-mindset of this is how I play and this is how I'm going to play. Because at this crucial position, you do not bat the way you like, but you bat the way the situation demands you to. Adding caution to aggression is what Pant needs to learn, and learn quickly. Dinesh Karthik needs a special mention here. Boy, isn't he batting the best he ever has? He's been special ever since 2017. He's batted 13 times, out of which 10 times he's come back to the dressing room not out, driving India home. Fabulous finisher might be his new nickname. And I feel there is something with Indian wicketkeepers and finishing the games, isn't it? I hear some CSK fans roaring in agreement back there. All in all, a great end to 2018 for Team India in terms of their performances in the limited overs format. Only one loss that comes to our mind, the 2-1 loss, a close series loss in the ODI series against England in England. For me, the three performers who stand out and were instrumental in scripting such a fine story for Indian cricket in T20s and ODIs for 2018 are Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal and Jasprit Bumrah. When was the last time you remember a cricket analyst saying to the entire world loudly and clear that the reason behind India's great performance throughout the year across the globe in limited overs cricket were actually bowlers? You can't really remember, right? That's how special these bowling performances have been. Now the coloured clothing is done and we move on to the original form of cricket, the long format of cricket, the real test of endurance and skill, test match cricket. There is loads to talk about as India boasts of having the best chance at winning an away series on Australian soil with their pacers firing all cylinders throughout the last year and a half. The Australians on the other hand are losing their night's sleep over whom to hand over the 456th debutant test cap as they try to fit in a batting order that can just keep their heads above the water and complement the deadly bowling quadruple of Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood, Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon. I will be back with a new show to discuss the preview for the first test match in a couple of days, probably the 2nd or the 3rd of December 2018 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, there is a 4-day tour game that's going on between India and the Cricket Australia 11. It's very promising. Prithvi Shaw got a 50. There have been reports about him being injured and so the opening conundrum coming back to haunt India. We discussed the opening conundrum back in England before the test series and it actually made sense at the end of the series that our analysis was correct. It's going to be interesting to see how we fare with all these previews and pre-series analysis for the Australian series. Until my next show, this is Yash Khandor for the International Cricket Network ICN 360 signing off. Till then, you guys, take care and enjoy the game.